On a moonlit night in July 1779, one of the most daring battles of the American Revolution took place on the banks of the Hudson River in what is now Rockland County. Stony Point, a rocky cliff 150 feet above sea level, sits high above the water at one of the river's narrowest crossings north of New York City. This made it a key location for troop movements and a major strategic position for both the British Army and Continental Army.
So Stony Point's strategic importance lay in the fact that whoever controlled it could control passage on the river going north or south. And so anyone who possessed that controlled that vital highway.
In the spring of 1779, the British Army seized and fortified Stony Point while General George Washington defended the Hudson Highlands. By early summer, the British moved their troops back towards New York City, leaving a small contingent to guard the fort. Within a few weeks, Washington decided to act.
In late June, Washington decided that the British were there for the long haul. In order to take Stony Point, Washington realized he could not besiege the place. A frontal assault would be foolish. He had to have a different type of troop and a different type of commander.
General Anthony Wayne was already a legendary figure of the American Revolution by 1779. He was a celebrated general who had led the attack at the Battle of Monmouth and was known for his bravery in battle and fierce loyalty to his men. Together with Washington, General Wayne planned and executed a surprise midnight attack on the fort that would change the way the world saw the battle for independence.
The midnight attack that had been planned by General Anthony Wayne was a very daring and bold attack. Under the cover of darkness, his men would climb up an extremely steep and treacherous hill, bayonets affixed, no muskets loaded, to surprise the British.
The attack on Stony Point was a three-pronged assault. The main attack came from the south, where about 700 men waded through the river, around the defenses, and up the hill. A secondary attack, with a smaller group, came from the north, and a third attack served as a diversion, drawing the British attention away from the flanks surrounding the fort.
The British were caught off guard. They never expected an attack to occur at midnight. They didn't hear anyone coming. There was miscommunication, and it really ended up being a disaster for the British.
The storming of Stony Point lasted 25 minutes, one of the shortest and most decisive battles of the American Revolution. But the implications of the Continental Army's victory were swiftly felt across the globe.
When the news of the Battle of Stony Point broke and hit Europe, this was really embarrassing. In less than a half hour, the Continental Army was able to take out an entire British regiment.
The British always prided themselves on military drill and expertise. When they'd realized that they'd lost a key fort along the Hudson River, they knew that they were in for a long haul because the colonists were not going to relent.
The ingenuity of the attack, the bravery of General Wayne and his troops, and the complete victory over the British was the morale boost the revolutionaries needed.
It really shook up the American army in the best way possible, and it showed the world and the Americans, most importantly, that they were now a professional army. This was no longer a rabble in arms.
250 years later, Stony Point Battlefield welcomes visitors to learn about the daring battle waged high above the Hudson River under the cover of darkness, a surprise attack that surprised the world.
Every time I walk around the battlefield, I know what happened there. I know who stood there.
Anywhere you step in Rockland County, you're stepping on revolutionary soil. The Revolutionary War occurred outside of our windows. History happened here, and it is a story for everyone.
Come walk in the footsteps of history as you explore all that Rockland County has to offer.